Yes. What's happening, man? We back again. Made in the 1980s. Made in the 1980s. That is the name of the podcast. Had to change the logo up. I see if you see it in the corner there. Bang. Right there. You dig what I'm saying? And man, we're gonna make this really quick. We're gonna make this really quick. Uh Major news in the world of hip hop this year. You know, well, not even this year. This is definitely the trial of the decade. Um, and Got to talk about it. Got to talk about it. Because this is a very serious matter. But Let me just lighten the mood a little bit, man. Like, this made in the 1980s, man. It's officially a music podcast, even though we'll talk about life and nostalgia and all that other good stuff too. But man, I don't want to stop doing this. I don't want to stop creating this content because I think I got something special here. And This will now be recognized as a music podcast. And We're going to talk music and also some of the great conversations, the tough ones, the good ones, the bad ones, all of it. We're going to talk because, hey, Diddy trial, verdicts are in. It's all effed up now. What we going to do now? Huh? It's all effed up now. Diddy, let's get right to it. Not guilty, but he filthy. Episode 64. So look, Sean, Diddy, Combs, if you want to call him love, that's your business. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. Count 2, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, not guilty. Count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution, guilty. Count 4, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, not guilty. Count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution, guilty. Those are the literal facts. Those are the literal facts right now as we sit here July 2nd, 2025. Two things that there's a lot of things I want to say, but two things I want to start with is that it's just, been confirmed. Well, not just been confirmed, but like this evening it's been confirmed that Diddy will remain incarcerated. The bail was again denied. They are not letting him on the streets. And most likely he's going to go back to Fed prison. I'm not surprised by that at all, especially when you think of the nature of a lot of the dialogue and the language and everything surrounding Diddy in this case. Let me say this first, because I think this is important. Although I am for criminals doing criminal things, suffering criminal consequences if you're caught. That's just what it is. I am not God. I am not Jesus. I am not here to judge anybody or to say who or what they should be or who or what they should get. That is not my place, right? But I did not want Diddy to get life in prison. I did not want him to do that or to receive that. I don't have a dog in the fight. I just felt that, man, that's a heck of a way to close the chapter on his story. And yeah, to be honest, I just didn't feel that was just right. And I know I probably get backlash for saying that, but basically what they were charging him with versus what he actually did versus what the jury literally charged him for, that doesn't deserve life in prison. I don't believe that. So I don't want to use the word happy because happy sounds crazy. But for what we have and all the information that's received, I believe this is as fair as you can get. It won't get fairer than this because did I feel even in the first 2 weeks that they proved that he was racketeering and sex trafficking? No. None of that sounded like racketeering and sex trafficking to me. And with no accomplices, with nobody else coming and taking the stand, with nobody even saying that they've been complicit into the act of harm or danger to somebody else. Not like this ain't like the surviving R. Kelly doc where it's just mad adults around telling you how complicit they are with making sure old Robert Sylvester has a layup line to all the young girls he pleases. This wasn't that. This was a lot of people that acknowledged that Diddy was a violent drug addict, domestic abuser who was very volatile, but he's spending a lot of money. Like that's what they proved. And that just doesn't sound like racketeering. It just doesn't sound like it. And sorry, but you can't traffic a prostitute or an escort. Like you're hiring them, and then they're coming forward and they're like, yeah, no, we paid him to come out wearing nailing Cassie to the cross. We're doing this, that, and the third tour. All kinks welcome because we got the receipts, right? And that's just an unfortunate like an unfortunate turn of events how things would have to get so violent because of his vices, because of his addictions, because he's drunk with power, because he feels untouchable, because because he feels he's above the law. But but we people that have been around since the 90s, again, I don't know how old many of you are, but I was 4 I was 13. I was 14 in 95. 14 in 95. I've heard these kind of things about Diddy for years. I think in a lot of ways, the entire industry is complicit in his actual behavior. And eventually the monster just becomes untamable. And I really think that's what happened here. Um, again, I'm down for people being charged fairly, but just to be real, man, some of those charges just seemed unfair. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that upsets people. I'm sorry if you maybe you wanted him nailed to the cross before for other things that he did, but I would I would caution you to take emotion out of it and just deal with reality. Like that's the thing. That's the thing I've been learning about court cases and everything since Mike Brown. Rest in peace to that young brother, Mike Brown. I've been learning that about court cases in general. You go in there with all that emotion, and those people are looking for facts. And I know emotional pleas be working in the movies, but you got to prove that somebody did something beyond a reasonable doubt. And you got to prove that they did something with pure malice, ill intent, whether it was thought of, like premeditated, or if it was spur of the moment. But you got to prove that it was something that they did absolutely for no reason. And unfortunately, for with the prosecution, they didn't prove that in the acts of racketeering or sex trafficking. So here's the real question, though. Here's the first question of the night. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Because there is still a chance that Diddy can get served up to 20 years in prison. So he ain't out the woods yet. For everything that he got charged for, yeah, he was potentially doing life. But now with the 2 counts of um transportation to engage in prostitution, like he dead to rights on that. Super guilty on all of that. And even though I think there will be an element of time served, it honestly wouldn't surprise me if he do at least a dime. Did he still might do 10 years in prison? He honestly might. I don't think they can, deny that he has to do some more time. Um, Many people were thinking that he was gonna walk, like, for instance, like the goofballs out there outside of the trial pouring baby oil on themselves. Like, that's just insane. What are you doing out there? Like, bro, what are you doing? You're a nutcase. That I don't even understand why that would be a thing that you would want to do, first of all. And unless that's one of Diddy's sons, or if that's one of the freak off people that didn't come to the stand, I don't even know why you, sir, would be out there with your chest out and getting baby oil squirted on you outside of the courtroom. I said it just how it needed to be said because it is exactly that. But where do we go from here? Because once I started paying attention to this court and then and going like checking out the updates, a lot of different YouTube platforms really did really good on covering this case. Obviously ABC News and CNN, but I want to say like there was another platform called, I think it's like Law, not I don't want to say something like crazy like Law and Order, but there's another channel, and I am going to I'm going to go look for it here. And of course, Eyewitness News, they do their thing. Law and Crime Network. Shout to Law and Crime Network. They did a really good job of covering this, both sides. Nobody was really biased. Everybody spoke with reasonable doubt throughout the entire duration of this trial, which was interesting because they were like, hey, you know what? This is what they said and this is what happened. But that doesn't sound like racketeering to me. That doesn't sound like this. And unfortunately, with all those testimony, like there were so many things that came up during this trial that are crimes. Let's not get it confused. Diddy was out here committing crimes. It just wasn't the crimes that they were trying to convict him for or alleging that he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was clear there was mad crimes that were done, but the state didn't do a really good job of pinning him to those federal crimes. So maybe if they're civil trials, he's going to get nailed to the cross. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he could be out of the woods yet. So while people are out here celebrating, and again, I don't understand that. I don't understand that aspect at all. But for everybody that's out here celebrating, I would hold your streamers and your confetti and your Ciroc just a little longer, because I don't think this is over by a long shot. I just think that that was the worst that could happen to him. I think that was just the worst that could happen to him. I said, well, where do we go from here to answer it in a more direct way? I see the entire internet is split. I do want to say this: respect to all of the notable figures out there in the world. When I say notable figures, I don't want to just say celebrities, but people of status, people that got some money, people that got a little change. And some people are expressing their disgust for the people celebrating or being happy, or just glad that that Diddy is not going to get life in prison. I see some people speaking out with voices and with names, so that's respect to those people. Um, However, on the flip side, though, still a lot of people are very quiet, and in my mind, I do think that's because business is about to be business, and no matter how the general public, the internet, whoever, wherever, no matter how they personally feel about Diddy himself, he is considered a marketing genius in his space, and that will result in him just maybe being hired on the low, under the radar, maybe consulting. Uh, I think there's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I do think there's a lot that goes into this. My man Mike J just chimed in. What's up, Mike J? Doing Diddy wrong. Okay. All right. Um, as a blanket statement, that's powerful. Um, I'll say this again. I was not for him getting life, and I do think they overcharged him, and I am wondering why. I'm wondering why they try to overcharge him. Like, that's the question. I'm going to hop around here. Why did they overcharge Diddy? I'm unclear on that because my new thing, the thing I was asking after the first 2 days of updates was the RICO charge ever real? Was that ever a real charge? It was almost like they were trying to get him to be on like some real John Gotti type stuff, some real Al Capone type stuff. And like he was he what he was doing was never really rooted in crime. Like music isn't rooted in crime. Selling alcohol, distributing alcohol is not a crime. Well, not in this era. Like during the Prohibition era, that's different. But his beef with Diageo and De Leon Tequila, and him making a character analysis that they just not trying to see a black man make it. It was like, nah, I mean, bro, honestly, I think if Diddy just held a couple L's, none of this ever happens. None of this ever happens. I think if he just be like, you know what? Hey, look, man, Casamigos got it. That's what the harlots want. That's what the hussies and tramps and skeezers and scallywags are guzzling down over with their passports. What? That's what they are. Yeah, I agree. Okay. It's my wife. She has commentary. I'm sure you heard that, guys. But yeah, I mean, like women and ladies, they drink it too, but so do the tricks and tramps and sluts. It's and they're buying it at high volume. You know what I'm saying? And I think his willingness to want to be the best, like his desire to be the best, and he just had an inferior product, came back to bite him in the butt a little bit, right? And then it was the bravado of the whole Cassie situation and her going to write this book, and she had this tell-all, and she was gonna, sue or pursue him, and with legal action, and that wasn't something he wanted to do, but then they gave her just enough room to make claims known. He might have sent that Venmo just a little too late. And then that was literally enough for the state to try to go after him. But I think the state went after him under false pretenses. And I think they thought they were going to get more out of the story than what was really there. Not that I agree with the whole "this is a love story" thing. This is more like that the defense was using. This is all really summed up into one man with a lot of power who was out of control, that doesn't treat women the best. Matter of fact, he treats women pretty terrible in hindsight, and was a little too upset that some of his business dealings weren't going his way, and it caused a federal court case. And that's wild in perspective. That's a wild in perspective. Let me see. My man Mike J says, so Diddy is sitting in prison tonight for prostitution and deemed a threat and denied bond. Trump is found guilty on 30 plus charges, and he was not deemed a threat to those who made statements. So, wildly enough, I can't make sense of that for you, because Diddy's sitting in prison because the prostitutes came out and said they was prostituted. You know what I'm saying? Like they said it. Like they said that happened. And although Trump definitely he get his felon on, you know what I'm saying? He's a flagrant felon. However, he never appeared to be a flight risk, and he never had the stigma of being excessively violent towards anybody. Where, if you're really paying attention, if you've been around how long as we've been around, Mike J, Diddy has like a 30-year history of violence. And we can't deny that. We can't deny that. It doesn't matter if you're talking about the Uptown days. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Steve Stout. If it's the nightclub incident, if it's the situation with the coaches, whether it's Drake, whether it's J. Cole, like there's so many times that you can point to where people have been, Kid Cudi. There's so many times you can point to where somebody was like, no, did he beat dude up? Did he smack the shit out of this person? Did he had this set up? Did he ran down on this person? He choked out this person, and he can't run from it. So, and I'm not saying that prison and the time that he's already served won't be somewhat rehabilitative, but yeah, he might have to sit down for a little longer, bro, because he's not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? He's not necessarily the person that you can just definitely put out on the street and everybody think it's all good. Hey, and you're right. You're right. Listen, groping women unexpectedly is wrong. But just the very thin line, bro. And I hate to sound like I'm even caping for dude, because I'm not. But just the very thin line is that was vulgar, lame guy talk. And no woman has ever came forth, and this is what we got to go by. No woman has ever came forth and said, yeah, I was out one night in the Red Hook section of New York. Donald Trump saw me, ran down on me, inebriated, and grabbed me by the pussy. Like nobody's come forward and said that. He said you can do that. You can do whatever you want. And he's wrong. That's some wild things to say. But hey, listen, for old school slang, it's some that's talking it and some that's living it. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, I am not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you. And I think that you just have a situation where Some people really take their money and hush, and some do not. I mean, think about this. Think about this. I mean, hey, listen, Diddy also is unfortunately a victim of his own circumstance. And I really do mean that when I say, I mean, look, the whole situation with Cassie. So he got Cassie on the payroll, he got the trainer on payroll. They all screwing around. They end up leaving and run off together. So now Diddy want his money back, right? He's like, yo, I'm not paying you to leave me and get recklessly skeeted in it and build a life with the trainer I'm paying for. Nah, run my bread. And coincidentally, even though it was set in court, she came back. She came back and got hit, you know what I'm saying, by Diddy while she with dude. The problem is, and we don't want to say it like this because it sounds nasty. If it feels filthy to say, but real talk, Cassie and her dudes broke, and they made a play. That's why the book was going to come out. That's why she was going to file the suit. That's why these things were going to happen. And Diddy and they played chicken, and Diddy lost. They played chicken, and Diddy lost. And not only did he have to still pay her, he still ended up in court, lost some more money on the court, and he's still in prison. Even bad things need to be done right too. Bad things need to be done right. Sorry. That is the reality. And again, I am not here to say that it's correct. I'm not here to say that it's right. Obviously, being black with money in America is being different than being white in America with money. And I get that. But no matter what, no matter how good or how bad you want to be, there is still an order of correctness that still has to be prevalent. It has to be real. Or you'll find yourself in situations like this. Again, Diddy's out way more money than he's out way more money than he anticipated he would be. When he was like when he tried to dub that request to get that money, so that book wouldn't come out. Hey, I would just let that cook. I'm gonna let that sit there. You had to be in June days 2009 to understand where my man coming from on that. You got to be there. You just had to be there. You had to be there. Here's a good question for you. Hey, listen. Again, I don't know why they overcharge them. I don't know why black celebrity, black hip hop, black rap stars are being hit with RICO cases that they can't make stick. It's almost like they're preying on the fact that either they're gonna bleed finances with legal teams, or they're just thinking that we're so dumb and ignorant with the money that we just won't fight it. But now the federal government is 0 for 2 in 2 different states for trying to pin RICO charges on black entertainers. There's something to that. I don't know what it is, but I want to acknowledge it here right now. And the same lawyer is in on it. So he's like the golden goose. I forget my man's name, but the dude on Thug's trial is the same dude that was added to Diddy's trial, a defense team. I'm sorry, same dude from both defense teams. He 0-2. I mean, I'm sorry, he 2-0 in 2 states. That's interesting. So just be mindful of that. I mean, obviously, be a decent human being. Be a decent human being. Don't be out here doing sucker stuff. Don't be out here beating up on women. Don't be selling drugs to community. Stop killing each other. You know, like it's really not hard to not get a RICO charge if you care about people that look like you. I love black people too much to sell crack to them. You know what I mean? I love black people too much to just come out here with an AR-15 or a 50 cal and just start shooting a block of us up. I love black people too much to even stand by and let them throw their lives away if I can help it. So, for me, man, it should be so difficult to get a RICO charge because we should have so much self-love and so much pride in ourselves and our culture and our heritage. But I'm just one man talking. You know what I mean? I just hope that 94% of us actually feel that way, so we can really be effectively making change to all of our lives and circumstances and communities, because it is important. Um, how do you feel about Diddy now? That's a great question. How do you feel about Diddy now? Because let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. I know a lot of people strictly off the video, off the video of the way he was savagely swinging, beating on, and dragging Cassie people off Diddy forever, and I respect that. I respect that. And because of the overcharge, right? Because of the overcharge, we were never really here for him to be a racketeering sex trafficker, right? And for some people who don't really know what sex trafficking means, I heard a lot of people early in this case was saying, yeah, he messed with all these young girls and these young kids. It's like, Diddy was never charged with anything with like a minor in general. Like, nobody has ever been like a minor except the girl that lied in New York that the Tony Busby dude was trying to basically they be playing extortion games. You know what I'm saying? They it's a wild turn of events. But how do you feel about Diddy now? I'm about to read some more comments here. My man J Dub checked in on me. What's happening? What's happening on Diddy? If he spit on the ground at Summer Jam, they're going to give him 27 years. The feds effed up, charging him with one set of crimes, then prosecuting him for something totally different. Who gives a hell about Kid Cudi's police auction car getting burnt up? That wasn't one of the charges. This is about to force Diddy into truly living his black excellence facade he was living in public, but really on demon time. My man Philip Banks is here. He said the gay John Gotti beat that ish. Hey, yo. But yeah, hey, listen, they were they did that racketeering charge, but then they wanted domestic abuse under it. They wanted, possession of baby oil drugs on it. They wanted arson on it. And it's just like, bro, that ain't what it is. A quick Google search will tell you that's not what it is. And then they couldn't prove he did anything. It's just people that think he the boogeyman, you know what I'm saying? Or think he Candyman to somebody that, like, a lot of stuff became speculation. And what's so wild is it was all over Cassie. So that's the other thing. Like, he's not starting a criminal ring because of his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a smart thing to try to charge him for. Now, look, if this case was the prostitution, domestic battery, and drug abuse or addiction or something like that, lock him up. Lock him up. You can't get out of that. Like, even the defense was like, hey, look, guys, we get it. Our client, he's a drug addict. He a little crazy. He be smacking people around in public. He be dropping champagne bottles on executives. He be throwing kettlebells at coaches. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he even be beating up his own girl, and he be telling he love her, but he be beating her ass. And he do drugs. And he get drunk all the time. And he be throwing nasty sex parties and hiring prostitutes. But he ain't sex trafficking nobody, though. Like, that was their defense. That was the defense. Hey, look, we're here with a piss poor human. But he ain't do that. That was their defense. And they won. It's crazy. But that is that just is what it is. That just is what it is. And hey, and that's what I mean, hey, look, on the flip, I bet Tory Lanez wish he had the same lawyers because yeah, he went to jail for the stuff he did too, but it ain't going so well. It ain't going so well. It ain't going so well for old Tory. But Diddy, they was like, hey, look, they was like, yeah, man, hey, yo, this a wild nigga right here. But they won. But he didn't do this. He not in sex trafficking. He not in the racketeering. Ain't nobody else helping him. Like, hey, once they didn't call any witnesses or they didn't call anybody to the stand, I was like, oh. And then Diddy wasn't gonna take the stand. Oh, so they really think they got this. That they were like, okay, they're not proving the case. Like y'all, all y'all proving is that yo, freak man time is insane out here. You know what I'm saying? Demon time is on Tales from the Hood level when Clarence Williams III turned into the devil literally at the end of the movie. That's what they proved. They didn't prove anything else. So how do you feel about Diddy now? Are you you know, because this is music, we boycotting the music? We boycotting I don't know if he owns anything else now. The relationship with Diageo was done, so I don't know what else Diddy owns. Ain't been no Bad Boy album in years, so I'm not really worried about that. I know Ye wanted to bring back Sean John, but he out there with the Black Klansman suit on, so he wilding. I don't know. I don't know how I feel, to be real, man. But then again, I think I also am in that space where Diddy is so far removed from his marketing really working on me like that. That yeah, I don't know. I can't. I mean, this is interesting for something to happen in the twilight of somebody's career, as far as being front facing. Now, behind the scenes, I don't know what else he's involved with. You know, I don't know if this means that we hear less from DJ Khaled. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the nastiest, grossest things in life to me is the friendship between Diddy and DJ Khaled. It made me sick to my stomach. So if they never stand next to each other, mimicking each other, trying to outmarket each other with the love fest, I'll die a very happy black man wherever God sees fit. So yeah, and Love album is dope. It definitely is dope. Shout out to Jazzy too. Jazzy on there, Mary J. Blige on there. Yeah, it's some heat on that album. It's some heat. It's definitely some heat on there. But yeah, nasty work, DJ Khaled. Ugh, you disgust me. All right, let's just move on. I'll go on a tangent. I'll go on a tangent for real. Let me see. Final question. I think, but I'm open for dialogue. How do you think the industry is going to react to this? You know what I'm saying? How do you think the industry is going to react? So now again, I've seen some people and respect to them, you know, but for me, how does a Rick Ross react? Since they were victimized, how does a Drake and a J. Cole react? Like, yo, the dude that slapped you, dude that smacked you up in the club that day is now back out on the streets, you know, with just prostitution charges. I don't know. And again, he's still facing up to 20 years. That's what they could charge him with. And do I think he'll get a dub? No. Do I think he'll have some time served? Yes. So we might be in the situation where he might be doing like another 5 to 8, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know court math, especially when you're a celebrity. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? My man Banks said he finna get out and drop all them videos again. Hey yo, let me see. Watch all these evidence tapes get released the minute he started making a slight come up. Hey, word. Hey, listen, because them escorts was trying to get famous. That great value mid pack of escorts. What? Okay, let me say this, and we can move on. Dog. Not that I ever thought like Cassie was super unattainable. And I'm sure women thought that probably Diddy was probably unattainable in some respect. When you see the escort list, bro, you basically just had to be at the right place at the right time. Like they not even like I ain't gonna cap. And this is, hetero vibes only on this side, right? But I'm expecting some Shamar Moore type looking dudes, some Tyson Beckford dudes, maybe LL Cool J look alike or something. And then I'm expecting some dudes like, you know what I mean, that was on something. But then the Punisher shows up. It's like, fam, he blazing Cassie with Diddy. He tag teaming her. That's the dude tag teaming her. Wow. Do I just got to move to New York? Wow. Do I just need to go to Miami? Wow. You know what I mean? Like, doc, I was so disappointed in the escort list. But that's a whole nother episode. We're trying to keep it light. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? But man, that great value mid pack that they was out there letting them run the gauntlet on young Cassie Ventura. They was going crazy. Yeah, I bet he showed. I know he's like, yeah, I showed up every time. Yeah, I'm ready. Like, of course you are. You know you ain't blazing nothing that fire and in your own line of work, bro. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there, man. We're here to talk about the aftermath of the case. And because that's what's important. The industry, who's gonna be the first to put their cape on? That's what I want to know. Who's gonna be the first person out here? It's like, yeah, I knew it. I mean, look, his sons don't count. You expect that. His mom don't count. His family, I expect that. I want to know if Al B. Short gonna keep that same energy though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ye already on the train. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, listen. I mean, hey, look. If Diddy paying me to blaze, he ain't gotta worry about me. I'm like, oh, bro, that's you. That's you. You got it. you got it. I don't even. Yeah, I don't need it full time. You're paying me to do this. I'm providing the service. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, listen. Old Yeezus is definitely on those tapes. He definitely on those tapes. Matter of fact, I think here's my conspiracy theory of the night. I think the cousin that Kanye was rapping about that had the laptop had Diddy on the laptop with Kanye. I think it's all looped in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hey, Mike, sorry. Yay. Well, he's not gay. I was gonna say yay is gay, but no, he's bi though. But he's admitting it. So this ain't even people being slanderous. Like he's talking about he's sucking penis and been sucking penis for decades and making a song about being gay. Some things that's just not that's not shock value. Like that's not even speculation anymore. Kanye West said, I've been putting penis in my mouth since I was like 12 or 13. And I think that because he couldn't stop rapping about that laptop in 2015. He couldn't stop rapping about that laptop in 2015 when Pablo was out. And like he wasn't even trying to make it rhyme. And he showed up in court too. Diddy and Kanye are on those tapes together. And wildly enough, I don't think Kim is anywhere around. Cassie might be. I don't think Kim is around. So it's going to get interesting. Hey, my brother, I'm sorry. Hey, listen, I'm not here to destroy any person's character. I'm just telling you what I think based on the information that's being provided. That's it. Let me see. He put it out there before you find out. Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, listen. Look, Banks, I'm gonna give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Kanye is bisexual. Maybe Ye is bisexual. But to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, my kink meter don't go that high, but even Amber Rose was on Club Shay Shay talking about like, like Kanye's just in the slut culture. He likes the aspect of men admiring and wanting to be physically intimate with his women. Like he likes that. And on a much lower level, on a much lower on a much lower level, I do live by the rule, man. If I'm out and about and nobody's checking for my girl, I'm with the wrong girl. Now, that don't mean I want her to wear like saran wrap and be outside with me. Or like I'm just gonna make her like wear a trench coat and get butt ass like on Broadway or somewhere, like in the Gulch or somewhere. I'm not gonna do that. But but he is indeed. But yeah, man. Hey, listen, Ye is on his own time, man. He's on his own time. And I do think tapes will leak. That is something. Where do we go from here? Back to that question. I do think tapes will leak. I don't know if it's going to be OnlyFans or we're going to do classic Twitter drops or maybe some random Pornhub account. It's about to start just going crazy. I don't know, but ain't no way we not getting no tapes though. Because the thing is now, Diddy's like the crime is committed. The damage is done. He's going to serve his time for prostitution. But we Americans especially, we like watching car wrecks. We like watching people slam their bodies into each other with helmets on. We like watching people get in octagons and kick each other in the face. We're here to watch people get knocked out cold. Now there's a portion of us that like to watch people get murdered. And instead of calling 911, we just record dead bodies. There's no way no tapes are going to leak. There's no way. If the R. Kelly tapes leaked and they knew it was minors on there, we're going to see an adult orgy. That's a given. So, yeah, you can book that. And look, in the 98, I was 17. So I was of age to be watching it. I was the second youngest person in the scene. Like as far as the two participants and the person watching, then the clips I saw, I was like, well, no, me and that girl went to high school together. Well, we could have, you know what I mean? But this 28-year-old, this 32-year-old needs to get out of here. But yeah, but absolutely we're getting leaks. That's a given to me. Um, who's gonna start the hate train though? Who's gonna start that Diddy hate train? Who is now going to be like, you know what, F dude, we not standing with dude. We're not doing this no more. Like, who is gonna be that guy? Who or girl, man or woman, who's gonna be the person that publicly takes a stand and leads the lynch mob? I like 50's chances myself too, man, because remember the one of the mothers of his children was involved in this too. This could get real. This could get real. I am and what's so wild, I'm curious to see what old Sean's probation is gonna look like. I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like because unlike many other cases, there was no mention of like, kilos and bricks and guns and fentanyl and weed. Like, there's nothing that, like, literally, they got baby oil and tapes. So what they about to say? He can't have sex at the crib no more? Like what? Like what is his probation going to look like? I mean, they're going to probably command that he be sober. But if he lives in a state that's legalized, I don't know. I don't know. This is interesting. I have a lot of questions that may seem wild at face value, but when you think about how this case broke down, it's like, well, how is he going to function with or without this or that? And that's what I'm curious to know. Straight up. This is but even though, the mixed verdict is in, I do think this is far from over. And dare I say, there is there's a lot to still unpack here. It might be a long hot summer for old Mr. Combs there, but only time will tell. So we'll stay tuned. Kanye is definitely not out of the weeds. He about to start acting a fool, I'm sure. Them Twitter fingers gonna get to move in here pretty soon. I do want to see. I want to see how the industry reacts to this because prostitution and the music entertainment industry. Let's keep it a thou wow. That's not. They don't really consider that a crime. It's mad prostitutes, mad escorts. Like dudes is like it's like nothing supports sex workers more than the music and entertainment industry, except like maybe like politicians, you know. So this is gonna get interesting. I want to see what happens next, man. But man, we'll see. We'll stand by. Something tells me that we'll be live again to talk about it. Man, I appreciate y'all tuning into the live tonight, man. Made in the 1980s. Again, we are officially a music podcast, so we can keep the content going so I can talk to y'all more frequently. I don't even have a real schedule, but always count on Fridays and Saturdays drops happening. But with the new format, with the new logo or the revamp logo, with the new emphasis on the content, I might just start banging y'all over the head, joint after joint after joint. We're going live again on July 4th. I don't know what time. I'm trying to find some beef or some turkey ribs. I'm not eating pork anymore. But I'm once I find that, or maybe we're gonna fry up a little catfish or something. I don't know. But once we get that rolling, we're gonna talk some more music. I'm probably gonna do, since it's Independence Day, we'll probably do an episode. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw this title. We're gonna tease the topic, you know what I'm saying, for my radio heads out there. But real quick, let me get these comments real quick. Ye finna go crazy again for that man. He gonna mess around and have a FaceTime on a feature on the song when they get out. Hey, yo, plot twist. What if Diddy and Ye start dating after this? I'm just gonna let that comment sit there. What if Diddy and Ye start dating after this? Mike J will be back in the building. Hey, yo, matter of fact, hey, look, this is a title I got for you. This is and I think this is where I'm going. It's Independence Day, it's 4th of July, and even though we're celebrating Juneteenth harder than July 4th nowadays, I'm gonna do an episode called See Dolores Tucker Was Right. And that's all I'm gonna say. I think that's gonna be the 4th of July episode. And then I'm gonna do a summer of 2000 music episode because I still want to do some album reviews, still want to do some moments in time reflections, but we're just gonna make them actual podcast episodes so I can keep the party going. And I don't want to just add the old ones. We just revamping with the new. But check out the YouTube channel as always. All the content is there. All the great music conversations will be there, as well as on Twitch. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, even though my Twitch numbers is not nothing worth talking about. But I appreciate y'all when y'all do tune in. Facebook always holding me down. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Made in the 1980s. Please come back with us July 4th. I'm off and we live, okay? And just know that always, especially on this side, look, always and consensually, it's love.